The last leg of the journey takes us right down to Turkey's frontier with the Middle East and its troubled Kurdish area on the border with Iraq and Iran. For many years, southeastern Turkey was effectively closed to the outside world because of a devastating conflict in the region that's taken tens of thousands of lives. The battle's been fought over the issue of Kurdish identity. When Turkey was founded, millions of Kurds, an ethnic group spread across the Middle East, found themselves living in the new country. They've resisted pressure to assimilate and become Turks. The militant PKK group has waged an armed struggle for a breakaway Kurdish state, often killing civilians in terror attacks across Turkey. It's turned into a drawn-out and bloody conflict. During the darkest period in the 90s, Turkish government forces were accused of widespread human rights abuses against the Kurds. Hundreds of thousands of ordinary Kurds were forced from their homes and villages in an organized campaign against the PKK. Many burned-out settlements still stand empty. This was somebody's home. You can still see the walls standing and the windows there. Kurdish journalist Mahmoud Kaya showed me around one of the ghost villages. What was the reason that the Turkish military gave for destroying these villages?
They were saying that the villagers are supporting, giving food and shelter to the PKK members.
So you get the sense really that the villagers were caught in the middle between this.
Yeah, that's the fact. Some of them were sympathetic, were close to the PKK, but the majority was just caught in the fire.
It's quite extraordinary. It looks like a very determined and successful attempt, really, to wipe these villages off the map. For our final destination in Turkey, I was heading for Diyarbakir, the biggest city in the Kurdish region. I think we're coming up to a checkpoint now where the army are going to pull us over. Hopefully we'll be able to carry on filming. So they seem quite nervy, actually. Marhaba. So is this fairly normal, Mahmoud? Is it fairly normal for people to be stopped at police and military checkpoints?
Yeah, because,
like
you know, in this region still things are warm, so...
Warm in the sense that there's
because there
still
are still incidents going on, still explosions and things.
Right. And there's still terror attacks, militant terrorist attacks against Turkish soldiers, aren't there? Turkish soldiers are still dying.
Yes.
Due to raids by militants coming across the border from Iraq.
Landmines.
So they're bound to be a little bit jumpy, aren't they? Turks have been outraged by the violent campaign waged by the militant PKK group. At the funerals of Turkish soldiers killed by the PKK, thousands of Turks have hailed them as martyrs. Yet in the southeast, the authorities are still viewed by many as an occupying force. Even while we were in the region, Kurdish youths were engaged in street clashes with the police. But there are some signs that issues at the heart of the conflict are beginning to be addressed. Every weekend, entire streets here in Diyarbakir are taken over by Kurdish wedding celebrations, full of traditional songs and costumes. Just 20 years ago, these partygoers could have ended the night in jail for even speaking Kurdish in public. But following pressure from the European Union, the Turkish government is gradually allowing Kurds more freedom to express their identity. Yet this region still has deeply entrenched problems. Abdullah Demirbaş was the Kurdish mayor of central Diyarbakir until he fell foul of the Turkish authorities.
Despite economic development, people in this region are not being given their share. Poverty is increasing every day. Because of the security concerns, a lot of people won't invest here right now.
Abdullah, we've got a lot of children here following us. His hands going into my pockets now. Little scamps. When you think of their future, are you hopeful for the future? Are you optimistic about the future, or are you pessimistic?
Despite everything, if this conflict ends, if funds are spent for the rehabilitation of these people, I believe these children can be won. The community can be rebuilt.
The Kurdish issue strikes right at the heart of Turkey's identity as a nation, and until it's resolved, it seems bound to hold the whole country back. Our journey has taken us from cosmopolitan Istanbul to the edge of the Middle East. We've seen how Turkey has been split by politics and religion. But if the Turks can heal their divisions, this country could be the proof that East and West can flourish together, and Turkey could become a powerhouse on the edge of Europe.